Okay, so at this point, you should have a website with a home page that maybe looks something like this, where you have an About Me section, and then you have a section that shows off your different projects. Right now, these are blank because we haven't done those projects yet, and that's okay. We'll fill them in later once those projects are complete. The next step is for us to add pages for our specific projects. The way we're going to do this is by going to the third button here, Pages and Menu. It's the green one. When you click on Pages and Menu, you'll see that it lets you control your menu here and add pages. We're going to be using this quite a bit, but first, I want to go ahead and add a menu to my site. As you'll see, there's no way right now to change pages. So I'm going to go to the plus, go down to Menu and Anchor, and then find a menu that I like. I think I'm going to use this one. You can see it's a little too wide. I think I want it to be something like that. And you see that it only currently has one button. This will change as we add more options to the menu. So let's go back to Pages and Menu, and then Add Pages. I'm going to add a blank page up here on the top left. And you'll see there's now Home and New Page. Now, New Page here, I want to be called Project 1. Done. And now I have two buttons for both pages. You'll see that just like before, it started us off with one empty section for us to put things into. Here, we're going to want to show some parts of our project. So we probably want at least some sort of a project title, maybe like that, which can say Project 1. And then some sort of a main image to showcase that project. Because we don't have any yet, again, I'm just going to use a default image. And maybe a little bit of text could be added here too, depending on the project. Now I want to go ahead and come down here and add a new section. And this is where we're going to put the 4 parts of the design cycle, each one in a separate section. So for example, I'm going to add some text. That's something of a title-like text. There we go. Looks good. And I want this to be analyzing, and maybe I'll use the and sign, and inquiring. Analyzing and inquiring. And then in this section, we will also need some sort of text, like normal text. Which we can leave empty for now. That's fine, because we will replace it with actual information when we have actual information. And then it may also need a temporary image too. So I'll put an image in here, bring this in a bit. And now I have content that is pretty much ready for when that project is actually finished. This is the first stage, but remember that there are 4 stages to the design cycle. So I'm going to come over here to the 3 dots, and I'm going to click Duplicate. That makes a copy of that section directly below the other section. And this one, we're going to rename to the second step, which is Developing Ideas. Now, I think I maybe want to change the design of this section. We'll swap you around, at least. And maybe bring this text to the right as well. Edit text. Right, justify. There we go. And now I think for the last 2, I'm going to have the same idea as this one and this one. So let's copy this first one, duplicate. And you'll see it put it here which is not where I want it. I want it to be below developing ideas. So I'm going to go to this section, and I'm going to click the down arrow, which will move that section down below the one that was underneath it. And now I can rename this to, say, creating. And then we can duplicate this one and move it down and make this one say evaluating. Okay, so now this has a very simple design for the 4 different parts of the design cycle, plus a sort of introduction at the top. Something else that I think I want to change is over here in site design. Site design lets you control lots of parts of your website at once. So here, for example, I could mess around with the colors. I could change certain colors, and you'll see this changes the default color of all the text on my page. I actually kind of really like that red, so that's what I'm going to go with. And then I could change other colors too, like the accent colors here. They control different things on your page. But then I'm also going to change the page background. You can see here, page background. This would let me set a background for everything on this page. So for example, I could set it to be a wooden hut. Now I don't particularly think I need a wooden hut as a background, but there it is. It's now the background of the whole page, except for the header, which we have set to a custom background of the color white. Now in this case, I don't really want this picture. I could choose to upload my own image here. By clicking on image, there's lots of options here. I can make it Thailand themed. I could make it anything that I wanted, or upload my own image. But in this case, I think I actually just want a default color. So I'm going to go to color here, and I'm going to choose one. I could make it this red, but then I can't read the text. So I don't really think I want that. Instead, I think I would choose like a default, maybe black color. That's kind of nice. And then maybe make the red more clear. I'm making it brighter. Let's try different colors. So between this, adding elements and customizing the elements, and if you want, adding backgrounds to sections by right-clicking and changing the background here. For example, I could set this to be a different color. I could set this section to be like a white instead, so it stands out. Maybe I could alternate or set an image or other background options here. Between these different options, you should be able to create very intricate and clean and nice and complete designs for your website. Remember your wireframes, which you've already drawn an example of this page to use. It's up to you how you want to design it, so long as you have these sections here, something that introduces it, and these 4 sections. Also remember to keep most elements within these gray lines, like we talked about yesterday, so that you don't have things that leave the page. Now let's go ahead and click Publish, and we'll go to that page and refresh. And you'll now see that the colors have updated and that there's a separate button here for project 1, which I could go to and see that project page. I see maybe there's something that looks a little weird with the text being above the image and the text here. It doesn't quite look very clean. So let's go back and maybe fix that. An option is to take this and to put it in the center. And maybe that looks more clear. Now with that done, let's click Publish, wait for it to publish, and then we can go back to the website, refresh, and see if it looks better. Didn't update, let me try again. There we go. Yeah, maybe that's better. That should be enough for you guys to go ahead and create your project pages. Remember that you will need 7 project pages complete. And I challenge you guys to try to create different pages, different styles, different designs for each project. And then as we go throughout the year, you can choose what project to go with which design. So lay them out a little differently, choose different colors, lots of different options for you there. Okay, I'm going to do some work on mine. And then today I asked for you guys to try to get your project pages complete. Can't wait to see how they look.